Can sorry about that.
Reporting live from Hyper Clubhouse in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Desi Banks is currently facing some backlash over one of his latest comedy skits. The skit that has everyone up in arms features Banks playing a young man that's gone to jail with the wrong cellmate. That cellmate is played by Fleece Johnson. It's Johnson's appearance that upsets some social media users because Johnson is known for raping men during his time in prison. Banks' caption for the video read, "When a YN/young boy go to the wrong jail," featuring Fleece Johnson. What's up, man? I already know who you are and what you in there for, nigga.
Let me put it on the screen. Sorry. Hello. Okay. I think I. Sorry about that. There we go.
Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Desi Banks is currently facing his latest comedy skits. The skit that has everyone up in arms features Banks playing a young man that's gone to jail with the wrong cellmate. That cellmate is played by Fleece Johnson. It's Johnson's appearance that upsets some social media users because Johnson is known for raping men during his time in prison. Banks' caption for the video read, "When a YN/"
You know, I know this is about Fleece, but it's the same thing. You know, Desi Banks, he's a famous comedian, you know, million plus subscribers. Uh he's getting back he's getting pushed back because he's making skits with the real rapist. He's basically out there promoting him and putting him in skits and put him out there in public. And he's not really even his manager or even, you know, promoting the guy. He just did a skit with him. So this is no different than what Donta was trying to do with Mark, trying to put him out there to the masses and thinking that the average citizen was just going to accept him with open arms. Yes, I can understand Fleece. You know, he's been more openly and oh, I guess, you know, open, you know, with his situation, but it still doesn't make it any better. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. But see, I think because he started going, uh, started getting on these national syndicate big content creator channels, and once they started getting wind, they don't want this out there in the masses.
Young boy go to the wrong jail, featuring Fleece Johnson.
What's up, man? Hey, shut up, nigga. I came to my time, what's going on? I already know who you are and what you in there for, nigga. I'm family. Why you keep staring at me like that, man? Nigga, why you think I'm staring at you, nigga? Booty's more important than water, nigga.
You know, and then that part I don't like about it, man, because they're just making a mockery out of religion. You got a guy back here so-called praying. He's listening to what these guys got going on. You know, it's getting blown out of proportion. You know, they're instead of making it, you know, scary and try to prevent the youth from going that route, they're trying to make it comical and glorify it. That's all they're trying to do.
Ain't going for none of that
What's
shit.
up, man?
I know I'm gonna be out in a minute. You feel me?
You want what?
Shit. I mean, I got a good lawyer. I'm straight. Shit.
Yeah.
One social media user would quote Banks' post with their own caption saying, "He really raped people." Terrain Walker would also comment on social media site X by writing, "It's time we face facts. Degeneracy is the dominant thread in what we call this culture." Another social media user would jokingly reply, "Desi Banks really had Fleece Johnson in his skits. Heck nah, cuz wasn't acting." While one more user would say, "Desi Banks gotta take that guy first off his bio." One more user would agree and plot. They wrote, "Desi Banks is a clown and those skits not funny. And then having a real rapist in it is nasty." Now, if you're not familiar with Fleece Johnson, he would gain notoriety after appearing on MSNBC's Lock Up Raw, The Convict Code. Johnson was originally sentenced to 10 years at Kentucky State Penitentiary, but was later sentenced to an additional 18 years under charges of wanton endangerment and first-degree assault. He was later charged with assault on a corrections officer on 4 different occasions, which added another 20 years to his sentence. Between 1981 and 2013, he was up for parole 13 times. However, it was denied due to his sexual crimes on inmates and officers while incarcerated. During his time behind bars, Johnson had reportedly raped and or sexually assaulted over 100.
You see, I'm gonna pause it right there because you heard this content curator that has 1 million subscribers saying that this guy Fleece was doing the same thing Mark was doing, had hundreds of cases of victims. I don't know if it's true, allegedly, you know, but if this big platform is calling Fleece, I mean, I don't see no difference than him and Mark. People are picking up on this, you know, bigger platforms are picking up on it. And Dante thinks he can hide and duck. But when you're out here promoting that stuff,
He should be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison?
you see, it don't look too good. It don't look too good. It don't look too good. You know, you got these guys that promoting these guys. You know, if you're gonna promote them, expose them for what they are. Don't try to make merch, hoodies, this guy Desi, Desi Banks, he's a pretty established content comical. He's making good money.
57 people while in prison, infamously gaining the nickname the Booty Warrior because of it. Johnson would gain even more infamy when the Boondocks would parody him in their third season episode, A Date with the Booty Warrior, where Huey, Riley, and Tom come across the character while on a field trip to a supermax prison as part of a Scared Stiff program. Here, Johnson's famous MSNBC speech was reiterated on the Boondocks, becoming one of the most popular catchphrases in the show and pop culture history. In this prison, booty was more important than food. Booty, a man's butt. Having some booty was more important than drinking water. When I see one and he looks good to me, when I go see him, I say, hey, you, come here. I say, I'm going to tell you what. I like you and I want you. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
You see, right now, his saying ain't no different than old Mark saying. Let me go get old Mark saying real quick. Let me see what is Mark like telling them. I just had to touch up on that video. That's that content creator has a million plus subscribers.
Turn around. So he moves slightly. I tell him to turn around again. He still doesn't want to by some other inmates who he couldn't identify. So they place him in segregation. I understand that. But in my mind,
That's with him. He was doing so bad.
Wrote him letters. Full of drug,
He was a blood. And
so for me to meet him, and he was already a member of Bloods,
he had
he tells me, he can't be Blood anymore. So I walk him around the prison compound. We talk, and I basically let him know, what I'm saying, how I had felt betrayed by what he did, what I'm saying. And it was hard for me to deal. It was hard for me to accept, So basically, I just made him feel guilty. I made him feel like he was obligated to me from that point on. He agreed with it. Me and truthfully, I seen that as an opening for me to move in and turn him out. I started to put my plan into making. So I let him know that I want him to be with me. I let him know that I want to have sex with him. I let him know I want to lay with him.
So I came over there to that dorm the next.
You see, they got the same method of operation. Wordism. The word play from one to another, and that's why I give respect to Fleece, because Fleece recognized an equal. He recognized, you know that saying, game recognized game. And Fleece recognized game once he met Mark. He checked out Mark's mannerisms, his convo, and he dissected him. He said, oh, no, man, Mark. First question, 20 years, no booty? And just the look that he gave him in that silence told Fleece everything. He was in there taking cheeks. I don't know, man. That's a good question, JoJo. Yeah, I do. It was because on one it says that Mark was at Sterling, and I think JG still was at Limestone. Because, you know, in that documentary, all right, here goes Fleece, man. Fleece is going worldwide, man. You're going national, Fleece. But I don't think it's for the right purpose, man.
They been drinking, been smoking some reefer or whatever. And I go to my little brother cell, or I call him my little brother Mark. I go to this cell and he tell him he running the whole
Easterly.
story down to me what this person did. So after he run the whole story down to me, like I had his door, they have cells, I had his door cracked and I see him and I call him. I say, hey, I call him up there and he come up there. So when he get up in the cell, I'm really playing. I'm playing at first. Well, I was playing it. Yeah, I was playing. Yeah, I was playing at first. So I asked him. I said, man, you know what you did could have got a lot of people messed up." So he like, "Yeah." I said, what if we rape you right now? How will you like that?"
He started crying and begging and pleading. You know what I'm saying? Mark, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to. But at this time, you know what I'm saying? I'm out of control. I don't want to hear nothing. No talk.
So my little brother, he jump up and he slapped. Real hard.
I tell him to turn around. Full of drugs, wrong crew. Got 20 years for it. I didn't grow up, meaning bloods make the world. Full of drugs, prostitution, murder. Basically just the straight ghetto. My hood, Crenshaw Mafia. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the same thing right there, Blue Blanco. That's the same thing that I showed that other video right now. That other video has a million plus subscribers, and it's a big platform, and they're basically calling Fleece a serial rapist. You know, he got 100 plus victims. You know, they're calling him a. So I don't see them unless they done just going out there and risking themselves. It's the same thing. You know, Jonathan Schwartz called Mark this because Mark is that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because anybody knows that when you do a documentary or any kind of a video and you sign your rights off, you still have some kind of rights. At the end of the day, you know, on how they portrayed you, it must be close or damn near accurate to your true character. To where you can come and say, hey man, you know, you're calling me this, and you know, you portrayed me as this on camera, but in reality, I'm not that. What's the proof? I'm about to sue you for everything you got. He can't do that. He can't do that. At the end of the day, when somebody slanders you or defamation of character, it's like the ambulance chasers, man. You know, you got to see who you're going to go sue. And if you have a case, you know, what's the outcome? But Mark, he can't do that. If that was the case, he would have did it a long time ago. But he can't. All he's gonna do is waste his money and time. He don't have no case. And the thing about it is that we wouldn't know Mark on YouTube if it wasn't for Donta. He's the one that brought him out. And now he's realizing that it's getting hot for these type of characters on YouTube. It's just a matter of time before they pick up on old Mark. It's just a matter of time. Fleece has been out there more longer than Mark. So it's just eventually a time where other platforms, oh, there's another one. But this one, there's actually documentaries of him talking about it. You know, Fleece just came on NBC. He wasn't as graphic as Mark. All Fleece said is that, you know, I tell him I like him and I want him, and we can either do it the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. And he said, booty is more important than water. You know, he said certain statements. But then you got this other guy, Mark, that paints you a picture of what he did to his victims. Laid them down, caressed them, two handfuls, play with them, try to walk him through it. See, these guys are getting mad. Well, go do your research. Bye bye. You're out of here. No, Mark ain't making nothing out of these videos. I ain't worried about making money off the videos. It was never about making money. I was in the bleachers. I was in the bleachers. I was in the bleachers. I was in the bleachers, just like everybody else.
Basically, what it says at the top: bees make the world go round, meaning bloods make the world go round. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I love blood with all my heart. I joined at a young age. It was more so like a family to me. You know what I'm saying? Uncles or nothing. Looked up to the Bloods as like role model.
He didn't like our lifestyle. He wasn't accustomed to going by rules and all that. He just did. He wanted to do just what he wanted to do. And when he wasn't around and got with the wrong crew, the wrong fellas, I guess he began to be part of the crowd.
Bye bye, skills.
You know, doing illegal stuff.
My case is really simple.
See, they think that their comments, I just ban them. If I want to entertain you and get a few laughs at it, I won't ban you. See, these guys are idiots. The only ones that have been exposed is Donta and Mark. So the only ones that are going to be making accounts, talking nonsense, threatening you, are these two clowns. Nobody's going to ride for these two clowns. They're like sexual deviants. They're charades. They're charades. They're running out of funds to run the charades. All those stream bots, street labs, all those software monthly, and plus all your minions that you're paying. Man, what are you bringing home? What are you actually bringing home? I don't care about this, man. This is therapeutical for me. I haven't seen my therapist in about 3 months. Why? Because I get on here and I talk my shit. I don't worry about that.
I shot a guy in the projects. He was the opposite gang member. I got 20 years for it.
See, I wouldn't know what a blood is. I've never dealt with gangs. You know, so I don't. I was blind by all that. There was no man in the house for him growing up, so he was around a bunch of ladies. Mother signed him over to his great grandmother, and she had control of him. That boy never, not one weekend went by that he came stay with me. That his great grandmama didn't call my house as soon as we got him to the house, and all kind of weird complaints and stuff. He needed to be back home. I had to actually take him back several times. Same time, she never gave him a chance to stay with him. It was always like they thought maybe somebody was gonna take him or something from him. And it never was like that. And once he got up 12, 13, then she wants to go and call me. Want me to chastise the child or something. At that age, it was impossible. I would have had to fight him and all this here to get him, and I just couldn't see it. I mean, it wouldn't have happened. It would have been worse, I think, with me and him than it is now. If I had tried that. The areas that he stayed in, all of them was bad. And with the guidance that he had, the parental guidance that he had, there was nothing left for him to choose going out in the street. We never denied him nothing. I offered him a bed in my house and food to eat, and he made that choice.
This explains assembles my time in prison. The clock got 2 arrows pointing to 10. Twice, meaning 20 years what I got. I've been betrayed so much by people who I thought loved me as far as dealing with women on the street, you know what I'm saying? Even women in my family, you know what I'm saying?
He prefers the guys with
I
jawline.
don't really have no problem with accepting real love from whoever. The first time I fucked some ass was in Tendon at Limestone. I knew he was a boy, but
you see, the thing is, Fleece didn't really say too much graphic stuff on his documentary. I think Fleece has actually said more graphic stuff on YouTube being out of prison than what he actually said when he was in prison. Fleece didn't say too much graphic stuff in that documentary. All he said is that he likes you, he wants you, he hardware, you know. He was more of a comical and he downplayed it somewhat compared to what Mark was saying. I mean, if you compare the documentaries, if you put Mark and Fleece side to side and you choose which one's the evil out of both, based off the documentaries, I say I would choose Mark. And that's just based off their own self-admission. You know, Fleece didn't really say too much graphic stuff. He just told you a comical scenario, guys walking around with their pants sagging, stuff like that. Almost like a scared straight type of deal. Fleece was like a scared straight. Mark was like more of a graphic, torture, past scared straight.
what caught my interest because he lifted weights, And at that time, I was often working out real heavy. He promised me, he said, man, I ain't gonna bring it to you. If you don't want to fuck with another man, I ain't gonna pressure you to. So one night we was in the cell. So he just had a t-shirt and some boxer shorts on. I didn't try to avoid the situation. I brought it to him. I cracked him for his ass. After that, I went and took a shower, cleaned myself up and everything. And I felt guilty. I felt bad. I felt like I had just committed the ultimate sin. You know, I got back from him for a while because I had started having feeling that I didn't think was right. I started caring about this motherfucker. I mean, you know, laying up in my bed thinking about him. I might be on the weight pile thinking about him. You know what I'm saying? I might see him talking to another dude and I become angry on the inside. It was like jealousy or I don't know what it was. I don't want to say love, you know what I'm saying? But
You know, I seen that comment, V. You know, in reality, it's never been about his family. I mean, I've never looked for his family or got his family involved or any of his friends. So I mean, but that is kind of messed up. I didn't know. I didn't know his grandma had passed away, and my respects to him. You know, if she passed away, I'm sorry for that. But I've never included any of your family members or try to talk to them or.
it's just something I couldn't explain. And I transfer. I go to another prison. I never seen him again.
Well, the first man I was with really, really messed my head up there for a while. I've had knives pulled on me. Uh, at that at that time, I was really more scared because this individual, more or less, I was. He was. I can't think of the word for it. Anyway, he was very dominant, very controlling. I couldn't talk to nobody. Couldn't go anywhere without either him being there or something said about it. Anyway, he brought it to me. I cried. I definitely cried. There's many nights I remember walking back to my dorm after they cleared the count. And I'd cry on the way. You know, ask myself, how would I get into this? You know, and sometimes I'd ask God, how could this happen? Because it's something at the time I didn't understand at all.
And I believe that today that we have to ask God to help our brother David Mendenhall, who has been in trouble. How many years has he served?
It's going on 6 years now.
Oh, 6 years. Maybe, we don't know, we don't judge. God, we're not to say whether he did or whether he did not. The Lord, 6 years, God, ought to be long enough. God, 6 years, Lord, ought to be enough time.
They moved in here and before the baby came, and they had it furnished nice, and they had everything the baby could possibly want. The church now gave him a beautiful shower, and everything seemed to be going great, but he would just work to death. And young, he was only 18. We believe in God and protection, and we prayed much and had churches, everyone praying for him, and always they'd pray for him at church. If a baby would cry at church, start to cry, well, she'd hear David hand her over to him. When he gets up, well, he picked the baby up and he got up. I guess he, with his back turned to the wall and only about a foot space between them. See, we had this side, this bed sitting down inside of water bed, big frame.